What did they have in common? Relationships and walking. That's what this video is about. Well, the quick answer is it's kind of like you need to take one step at a time. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of those steps that I think a person should take in a relationship. And I'm going to let you in a little bit on some of the details of my relationship. Some of you know that. Some of you know that. 3 weeks ago, I fell, shattered my ball and socket in my shoulder, my left shoulder, and that I am working with a one arm now while I heal up. Hopefully tomorrow I will have the staples, 11 staples taken out of my arm, and in a couple months we'll start rehab, trying to build up the muscles and be able to move it again here. I will put a link to that video at the end of this video. Anyway, there's a new restaurant and bar called The Fiddler. And I'm down over to the right. I've got a condominium called Ramos Tower was the old name. They're building a new condominium called Ramos Tower. And building two condominiums across the street from what used to be called Ramos Tower, now it's called City Suites. And Calle 104, I think is, what is it? Maybe it's three different ones down here. No shortage of condominiums in Cebu City, Cebu, the Philippines, and Ranudo Tower is, I think, maybe that's 3 instead of 2 at Calle 104. Anyway, because of my broken arm, I have kind of been stuck in the house, or choose to be there, because I take my pain pills seem to make me tired, not want to do much of anything at all, as a matter of fact. But this was a Sunday, and I decided I need to get out of the house. And I grabbed my camera and thought, I'll take a walk. I'll be careful so I don't fall flat on my face again, hopefully. And I was successful at that. I went for a long walk. And yeah, this guy got my attention. He's one of my favorite hobble drivers, usually outside the City Suites there. And there's Magsese, I think it's a cooking school, basically. Anyway, back to relationships. You've all had one or more, probably, in your lifetime, back in your own country, and some of you are hoping to come to a Southeast nation like the Philippines, where it's much easier to have a relationship. Even they say age is only a number here, which is a very unique concept. And you can, I am fairly often approached by younger girls, younger ladies, and where is your wife, sir? No wife. I've got a girlfriend though. Oh, well, she is looking. And they tried to line you up with somebody. I met the girl I've been dating 4 years. I met her on an online dating site, as a matter of fact. And I think we had coffee, had some lechon, and anyway, got to know each other over the period of time. And one thing I did early on, I explained to her a little bit about my culture, that and myself. Number one, I am a independent sort of person, and I was married 11 years, and then I've pretty much been on my own. I've had a few relationships back in the U.S., but I did sales and marketing, a number of other jobs as well, and pretty independent. And explained to her that, in the U.S., it's very common for guys, whether they're brothers or friends or coworkers, whatever, to go on a weekend trip or a week trip, go on vacation, go fishing, go hunting, go to a ball game in another town, whatever. And the girls go do whatever they want to do. This is a barangay hall here, basketball place. And the night before Saturday night, I think they were making noise over here till the wee hours of the morning. And I asked them if they were going to do that again, their fiesta, and they said, "Yep, till 4 a.m." But I think it was a lot quieter. I didn't hear much of that this particular night. Anyway, the point being, I think it's very important for you to talk about your culture, your interests, your likes, and that with the person you're planning to have a relationship with. So many of us, I think, so many foreigners come here and just kind of fly by the seat of their pants, and they get into a relationship, and the girl. In fact, I've got a friend who told me that, and I talked to my girlfriend about this. He says, I've heard it from a number of people, as a matter of fact. My girlfriend never takes an interest in, my Filipino girlfriend never takes an interest in what I do and my interests and this type of thing. And my girlfriend said, well, the Filipinos are like that. We are shy in a way, and we wait for you to talk to us about different topics. And I do that. I ask my girlfriend, and I talk to her about different things. If I'm watching the news, I said, "What do you know about this topic? What do you know about this topic?" And then we have a little discussion about it. And I've got a globe. I've got the Earth globe, and we talk about different parts of the world. And I've got 25 years her senior, and college educated. I've had the time and I've had the interest to learn quite a bit about a lot of different things. And the majority of Filipinos work long hours. They've got large families, and they don't have the time. They don't have the time, even if they're intellectually curious. They are so busy with their large families, and they usually live in big family groups, that they don't have the time or the privacy to pursue those kind of interests and the pursuit of information and knowledge, I guess. So we're all going to have different interests. We're all going to have different experiences with the girls or guys we meet over here. I think 20% of my viewers are female, so don't want to leave them out. Um, how important is it to have things in common? I like the water. I don't want to lay in the sun, but I do like the water, the ocean, snorkeling. I learned to scuba dive here. My girlfriend and so many Filipinos are actually afraid of the water. They'll go in up to their knees or waist, but boy, they don't want much to do with anything past that. And what about music? The type of music you're interested in? The real younger ones, maybe they want to party a lot more than you want to party. And I'm not a party kind of guy. I'm not going to go to the disco or that sort of thing. If I go to have a drink with some friends or something, it's to have a drink and to talk. My girlfriend would rather go someplace and listen to a band. I would rather go and have a discussion with somebody. And what about basic things, just like what you eat? Am I going to adapt and eat more Filipino food, eat a lot more rice and Filipino type dishes? I tried a little bit of that, but I like what I like. I was brought up certain type of cuisine, and I like beef, I like meat, I like chicken, a little bit of pork, maybe, and I will often make a stew or a hot dish, something like that. And some of that stuff she likes what I make. Other stuff she'll say no comment. But usually a couple things. Number one, we usually eat different things. She eats a lot healthier than she used to. She cooks a lot of vegetables in with her other foods. But yeah, she cooks. She eats a different time than I do. She works and she gets home a little later. I like to eat 5, 6 o'clock. She eats when she gets home usually, which might be 7:30, 8 o'clock. So it's rare. It's rare that we eat together. It's rare that we eat the same thing. And that is not a big issue with us. It works for us. I met a subscriber a couple of years ago, and he said his Filipino wife, he liked Thai food, and she's learned to cook Thai food, and she will cook Thai for him, and she'll cook Filipino meal for herself. So you can compromise, so you can work around those types of things. So you can have your own interests and still have a good relationship. When I met my girlfriend, one thing I noticed, she was the first Filipino I met that actually laughs at some of my dry jokes, which I tend to interject in conversations. An interesting event happened when I got home from walking last night. I started off kind of late afternoon, and it was dark when I got back. And she got home almost at the same time, and I said, yeah, I went for a long walk. I got some good video. In fact, this is part of that video. And she was very frustrated with me. She was not in a real angry, but kind of a stern way. She said, "You are so hard-headed." To which I commented, "If I didn't have a hard head, I probably wouldn't have survived my last fall." Anyway, we had a little discussion about that, and it wasn't an angry discussion. It was just a discussion that I need to get out. Walking is exercise. Exercising is good and healthy, and it goes back to me being a little bit independent. And just the fact of being cooped up, for a couple of weeks. Mostly, it just too much. It's time to get out and live life a little bit. Be careful. Be careful where I walk. In fact, I walked as I am now. I walked more in the street than on the sidewalks because there are less obstacles on the street than there are on the sidewalks. And as far as jealousy, a lot of people say, "Oh, Filipinos can be so jealous and possessive," and I haven't seen a lot of that. She has told her friend. We've had that discussion. I told her again. I told her early on that in my younger years, I went through some of that jealousy stuff, and I have neither the time or energy or interest in jealousy at this point in time. And I told her, if you're jealous, that's your problem. You have to deal with that. And other Filipinos are surprised. The hobble drivers I've used, I say, well, I'm going to go have a couple beers with a friend, and my girlfriend is going with her friends to a disco. Said, you let her go? You let her go by herself, they say. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. It's that's they have a hard time believing that I'm not jealous. One thing I often do, and maybe I should stop doing it, after I come back from my walk or going wherever I go, and I often tell my girlfriend of different things that happen to me during the day. And in fact, I get a little frustrated with her and not coming home. And I've had this discussion with her several times. She comes home from work. I'll go sit in the table, and she makes her food and tell her what happened in my day. But I don't get her oftentimes unless I ask her what happened today. What's going on with your family? She doesn't offer to discuss those kind of things unless I ask about them. And but anyway, I tell her, getting back to, I tell her, yeah, I took a little break. I was walking, took a little break, and sat down at some place, bus stop or wherever, and I was approached by this. Maybe it was a lady, maybe it was a lady boy, not sure, and wondering why my arm was inside of my shirt, and well, I broke my shoulder, and so, well, I will care for you. I will care for you. And the lady said, and I'm just discussing this openly, telling her what happens, and she'll often get a little upset. She'll get upset that get upset with me, the fact that I stopped and was approachable, and and I told this lady that no, I already have somebody living with me and helping me with this, so I don't need your help. Thank you anyway. Another discussion I've had with when I get together with some of my friends and we talk about our relationships a little bit, and the communication side. English is their second language. Sometimes it's their third language. They speak their local language here in the Visayas and Cebu. It's Bisaya, Cebuano, and then they have Filipino language, which is basically Tagalog, and then they have English, which is their third language, oftentimes. So the communication often, some days it's better than others. And my girlfriend has said, well, it's because I have been speaking Bisaya all day long, and it's difficult just to throw the switch and immediately start conversing in another language that quickly. I've had one of her relatives that was working in a call center come home one day, and to a birthday party I think we went over to, and speaks very good English. And she said, first thing she said, I'm tired of speaking English, because that's what she does all day long, and she speaks it well. I didn't realize it was that much of a burden, but it is when it's especially when it's a work type situation, a call center where you're expected to be very fluent. Now I'm going to mention another thing here, but let me just kind of sum up what I've been saying so far. Is that even with these differences in the fact that we don't have, I went and named a few things where we don't have that much in common, and yet with the communication and the fact that she kind of understands my humor, understands my thinking, will almost understands what I'm going to say before I even say it sometimes. We've developed that relationship over time, and time is a key factor in a relationship, because it takes time. It takes time to get to know somebody. And they're tolerant. I think another thing, they tend to be much less urgency with Filipinos about many factors. Us Western, I'm talking primarily to Western guys. I don't know about the Asian guys, the African guys, the people from other parts of the world. The urgency that they have in their lives, and they're used to getting things done. But there's a little lack of urgency sometimes. Where I see urgency, oftentimes as I reflect back, it really isn't that urgent of an item, but it's something I want. Let's go here. Or, the Filipino time, it takes longer to get ready to go. You're supposed to be someplace, and I like to be early or on time at the very latest. So in summing up, I guess it's important. Take the time, get to know somebody, get to know them, but also take some effort to explain to them a little bit about your culture, a little bit about your likes and dislikes, so that they understand a little bit about you, rather than finding out too late or never. And I'm not always the most romantic guy in the world. Well, maybe I am. No, I probably not. But I have found that if I use just a little more energy, put out a little more energy in relationship, really goes a long ways.